was the 70s. There was a whole lot of young people in this town who were riding motorcycles. We were young and we knew one thing, and that was anybody over 30 didn't know anything about anything.
Cause the roughed up kids in a small town is out of the way. The rays shine on my head, but I got no fingers and toes. My blood's still pumping when I'm dead. That's how over my eventual goes. Now that's alright, we can live through the night and the day. Cause the roughed up kids in a small town is out of the way.
I'm Bronte Edwards. In the 1970s, I helped form a bike club called the Mongrels. I decided we'd be called the Mongrels because we were bitches from all necks of the wood, and we grew exponentially from then. Early in the 70s, the Japanese started building big multi-cylinder motorcycles, and motorcycling went from a weekend hobby to something you could do 24 hours a day. And so we're regional Australians and stuck in the boredom of regional Australia. I don't think things have changed much there. Out to have fun, and that was the basis of the club. We weren't trying to be the toughest men in the street or anything like that. We were just in love with motorcycling and high-speed road rides.
Get up and dance to the black radio. You make friends with ugly people, so you stand out in a crowd. Go, 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 go.
I'm Herman Bruins. I was part of the Mongrels Motorcycle Club. I wasn't there right at the start, but I was actually riding bikes with the guys at the start. Fun, mateship, alcohol, bike riding, and just good times, you know. Yeah. And it was electric. You know, there was an era there where it was just electric. You know, you never knew what was going to happen, and you never knew when it was going to happen. You know, you never had mobile phones or anything in them days, and the way you'd meet, you'd just go down the street of a Saturday morning, you know, and park, and next minute a few other guys would park, and then you'd go somewhere, and then you'd run into some other guys, and next minute you're away, and you know, doing whatever. It was never planned, or not very often. It was just sort of happened, you know. Yeah. A lot of people would probably think that because we're into bikes and drinking and partying, that there'd be a heap of violence, and you know, there'd be people getting stuck into each other and punching people out or picking fights. The odd skirmish, but you know, no, it was 99% non-violent. It was just fun.
Trust a bikie if he don't drink beer.
The rage against the boredom and a statement against the mediocrity. Nothing was. You see motorcyclists these days, or bike gangs. They're set. Their uniform is more regimented than the military, or if they was in a religious movement or something like that. And, some of the bike gangs these days are. It was a lot freer. The idea of that you could escape for the weekend on your motorbike. Now you can't pull up at a parking bay and camp the night without being harassed or stopped or what have you. So more liberal times. Now everything's closed down on them. They can't go for a ride anywhere. They're targeted. You can't just declare one form of transport illegal and their friends who take that form of transport criminals because they hang around with them. It's just ridiculous. You know, it's as bad as targeting a religious group or a sporting group and saying that's criminal activity for hanging around with them people. It's just crazy. It calls into question how solid our justice system is set up.
We never considered ourselves one percenters or hard men like some of these other clubs did. It was interesting, we didn't think we were scary guys, but when you rode in a town as a club, full of noise and yahoo, it was interesting to sort of realise that you actually scared people, which was odd. I think a lot of the heavy clubs, the 1% clubs, get off on that image of scaring people. In terms of how we were received by the Mount Gambier and surrounding community, because we were all local lads and had been reared in Mount Gambier, they knew we weren't heavy guys, and we were socially acceptable, but by and large. When the Back to Mount Gambier celebrations were on, Sir Mark Oliphant was the governor at the time. The city council approached our club and asked us would we escort the governor into town. And we escorted him from the airport. And I still remember when we were going down the main drag, Dick Perry on a 900 cracker pulled this huge mono right alongside the governor's window of his car. And when we took him back to the airport, a local identity, Peter Minnick, approached him with a violin case, and everyone sort of stood back, and he opened the violin case and pulled out a stubby and gave Sir Mark a stubby of beer, and that impressed him.
There was a few bike gangs around. Like when we went to Sunbury, we met the Hells Angels for the first time, and they just virtually were new. The Barbarians were around. There was the Iroquois in Adelaide, and we got to know a few of them guys, and they weren't bad guys. But you see, back in the mid-90s, there was an Australia-wide cleaning up of clubs. All the little bits of clubs were forced to, you're either members of this mob or that mob, which were dictating the terms in the city. And it was become far less about motorcycles, of course.
My name is Heather Bruins. I grew up in Mount Gambier all my life and got involved with the Mongrels at an early age of around 17. The attraction was a lot of good-looking young guys with motorbikes. Women were invited in most of the social events, but there certainly was times where the guys had to have their, as they call it, their runs when they'd go away for the weekends. You'd see them fall off, you'd see them riding their bikes backwards, you'd see them doing changeovers, just being idiots.
We got away with it for a fair while, because it was really silly and really fast, and drunken riding off at the time. In the early days, we all thought we were invincible, and I still am. But some of the guys, got killed, silly, stupid accidents, drunk, some not even drunk, just unlucky, some had head-on with cars that wasn't their fault and all those sort of things, we lost a fair few. People got married, people got responsibilities, people had mortgages, and some of them got under the thumb and couldn't do what they wanted to do anymore. Then the few of the original guys who were left lost a bit of momentum. And I guess the other thing was we all grew up, and somehow or other I think some of them had to sell their bikes, and when that happened they disappeared from the club.
Any small group that grows like a culture out of agar glass is interesting in what they were thinking, what they had in mind at the time, what they were doing. And when you dissect it, you find that they weren't thinking ahead much at all. They were just living for the moment.
Don't get fooled by bruises and balls.